What's going on? Welcome back to the Born Money Show. It's your host, Mr. Born Money, here to help you stay calm, print money, and have life on your terms. Now, in today's episode, what we're going to be talking about is future forecasting when it comes to your finances and when it just comes to life in general. Now, what I want to do is clearly communicate that this is not financial advice by any means whatsoever. All I'm doing is sharing what's worked for me, some of the investment principles that I've learned over the years, and this is for pure entertainment purposes. If you're seeking financial advice, or if you have issues with your own portfolio, seek a financial advisor, somebody who's licensed and who's qualified to be able to meet you at your unique needs. This is just for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only. And this importance kind of was highlighted by a conversation that I had with some business owners that run one of the companies in our portfolio. All right. So I meet with them every week and we go through numbers, we go through finances, we go through all those things. And one of them said something that was kind of wild. And they were like, I cannot believe he was like, I can't believe that we thought we were running a business before we started working together. Like, we didn't have any of this tracking. We didn't know what numbers were going on. We didn't know where our money was going. We didn't know what was happening. And he was like, the thing that's been the most incredible thing is just the certainty that we have now with where we're going in terms of like what we can expect to come in, and we can start budgeting according to the things that are happening in the business and kind of like the baseline that we have of what we know is going to come in and things like that. And because of that, we can forecast, but then also start figuring out how much we need to start setting aside into the treasury to allow the business to survive another rainy day when it does inevitably come. So when I was thinking about that, I was thinking about like how important that is as well for your personal finances. A lot of people say they want to achieve financial freedom. A lot of people say they want certain things, but they're not actually doing anything that show that they actually want the thing, right? They say they want things, but they don't say they will do this to get this outcome. And a lot of times it's due to ignorance. So when you're thinking about your life financially, when you think about your goals or think about anything that you want to accomplish, like you have to have tracking in place so that you can have proper data and also do proper forecasting of what you can expect based on the inputs and outputs that you currently have, right? So let's say right now, based on kind of where you're at with your career, your business, whatever it is, you know, if you work this many hours, this is how much money you're going to make every single month. Right. And you don't have a ton of like leverage to increase your income, right? Outside of putting in more work to get more out. But even if you have a baseline of what it is, you can start adjusting your expenses. You can start adjusting and paying down debt or whatever it is and start creating like a forecast of where you want your funds to go and how you're going to get your money to be working for you. Now, the other thing that is important to think about when it comes to forecasting is knowing when it comes to investing and deploying money, knowing when you're going to take funds out and knowing when you're going to lock in your gains. That this couldn't be more prevalent than in crypto. If you've been listening to the podcast long enough, you know about some of the major L's that I've taken on the blockchain. In fact, one of the first L's that I remember vividly at over like $1.5 million worth of profits that I've gained from one play. And I had already surpassed the point where I said I was going to take profits and lock it in. But I gave in to greed, right? And I started forecasting too far out into the future and not locking in what was the results that I actually produced, right? And that results in a catastrophic loss when it came to that specific play. So I share that so that you want to be able to forecast tastefully and know when will you have reached a goal that you want. All right. And being realistic about the goals that you set and what you want out of life. That's really the most important thing. If you're going to forecast anything, be realistic about what you want. What kind of lifestyle do you want? And how much money do you need to be bringing in passively to actually lock that in? When you get there, lock it in, right? Write down what it is. What does your dream lifestyle look like? What does it allow you to do? Do you want to be able to travel wherever you want? Does it allow you to have the home that you want? And just figure out what are the expenses associated with the thing that you actually want. All right. And then once you've locked it in, you map out what is it going to take to get there? How much do I need to have invested in the market? What type of assets do I need to have? How big does my portfolio need to be? And you need to know where you're going so you can kind of forecast based on what your active income is, like how close you are to locking that in. Once you reach that goal, don't make the mistake that I made and start moving the goalpost, right? There's nothing wrong with setting bigger goals, but don't move the goalpost. When you accomplish it, lock it in, make it the new baseline. And then if you want to build on top of that, you build on top of that. And it was a loss that I took running that play that forced me to develop the 3 financial milestones that I use now. What's going on? I wanted to take this time to quickly interrupt this video or this podcast. If you found this helpful and you're interested in getting started investing on the blockchain, we have an incredible program called the Born Money System inside of our Wealth Sanctum. What we do is we'll guarantee you'll produce cash flow within the first 30 days of setting up your first digital cash flowing real estate on the blockchain, or you don't pay. So if you're interested in that, there'll be a link somewhere in the show notes for you to be able to apply and schedule a free strategy session where we can look at your portfolio, look at your financials, and figure out what would be the best and most efficient way to deploy capital on the blockchain to guarantee cash flow. Hope to see you on the inside. Back to the show. First one is your freedom milestone, where you're producing enough passive income to lock in and just cover your base costs of living. What are your current expenses? How much does it cost you to just maintain your current lifestyle, even if you don't love your current lifestyle, right? All you need is just the freedom to be able to pursue other things. If you hear anybody whining or screaming in the background, that is my awesome daughter, Naomi, letting the world know that she's alive. So that's your first milestone, is like your freedom milestone, locking that in and making sure that that's there, right? And then the next milestone is your FU money milestone. That's freedom unlimited, right? But if you have a more colorful imagination, it can mean FU can mean whatever you want it to mean, right? So that milestone is, okay, if I wanted to be able to live the dream lifestyle that I want, what does that look like? And the reason why I segment that into 2 is because the first goal is just locking in that freedom number, meaning that that is a number once you're like, that's the number that once you achieve it, you no longer need your active job. You no longer need your 9 to 5 to maintain your lifestyle, right? You no longer need your 9 to 5 to survive, right? Once you lock that in, you continue working your 9 to 5, but now the additional revenue, the additional income that you're making from that is going towards locking in milestone number 2. And it's really important that you have those milestones mapped out very clearly so that you can actually start properly forecasting what you need to do to get there and what it looks like when you are there, so you can lock it in, right? Lock it in and pay Uncle Sam whatever taxes you need to pay to lock it in. But don't make the mistake of moving the goalpost, getting greedy, trying to avoid paying Uncle Sam, only to suffer a catastrophic loss worse than what you would have to pay if you paid Uncle Sam, right? So that's that. And then the third financial milestone is really more of like the legacy. It's like, what do you want to leave behind? Who do you want to make sure you are taken care of when you're gone and things like that? And you start thinking about locking those things in. But it really starts with making sure you lock in your freedom, right? That gives you the mental bandwidth, that gives you the clarity, and that gives you honestly just the pressure off your shoulders. Like, I'm not trying to survive anymore, right? Now I can focus on, what do I really want to do with my life? What do I want to pursue? What am I passionate about? Like, when you lock in your freedom milestone, it's really like you feel free, right? It gives you option. You're no longer dependent on one person giving you a paycheck, right? You have assets that are paying you every single month, right? And for me, when I locked that in, I became very dangerous in business because I don't need anyone, right? And that's why I can leave certain situations that don't serve me in business. I can let people go. I can, as far as clients, like I can refund clients and make sure that I'm doing things in a way that serves me and it's perfectly in line with my values and my mission and where I want to go. And I'm no longer dependent on anyone to pay my bills, right? That's what that reaching that first milestone gives you, is the freedom that gives you options to do those things. And the second milestone is all about more like quality of life. Locking in the first milestone doesn't necessarily improve your quality of life, but locking in the second milestone substantially increases your quality of life. It allows you to be able to do more. It gives you the options to spend more money on certain things and have a little bit more luxuries than you wouldn't otherwise have if you just maintain like the freedom milestone that you have financially. All right, so knowing what those things are and being able to kind of forecast what you need to do, where you need to allocate your funds, how you need to adjust your expenses, and which vehicles are going to help you reach those milestones are extremely, extremely important. So if you found it helpful and you want help just kind of mapping out some of these things, actually I haven't opened up my coaching or consulting program for the Born Money system in forever. But if that's something that you are interested in finding out more about, what I'm going to be doing is I'll create a wait list. Somebody on our team will create a wait list. What I'm actually going to be doing is opening up like a membership course area where you can just kind of go through and get more of this information a little bit more easy to digest, easy to implement, and easy to actually follow along step-by-step process. I'm going to be opening that up. We'll be inside of the Born Money community. Go ahead and just fill out the information and you'll get links to sign up for that. It'll probably be anywhere be like some stupid cheap, like maybe like $97 a month for the courses and the members area and all that good stuff. So if you're interested in really achieving that and you want to be able to learn step-by-step how to do certain things, whether it's on the blockchain or whether it's even personal finances or things like that, there'll be a link to be able to sign up for that membership and join the wait list somewhere in the show notes. Till next time, stay calm, print money, and have life on your terms. Deuces.
If you found this video helpful, chances are you're going to find a ton of value in our Boring Money community, where I'm in there live, actively sharing articles, market updates, and just educating you on what's going on in the market real time. So if you don't want to wait for another one of these episodes or another video training to come out and you want to have live updates on what's happening in the market, go ahead and join the Boring Money community, where you can have access to us and be able to ask any questions that you want and potentially even get featured in an episode. Till next time, hope to see you on the inside.